So TikTok was banned, but then brought back? Let's talk about it.
For a brief period of time, they let the app sort of go dark. Now, it was not very long before that app was back. He then issued an executive order that pretty much just kicked the can down the road 75 days. However, the app still works. So if you already had it on your phone, then you could still use TikTok, but it will be 75 days from the issue of that executive order, which pushes it out to April 5th, at which point we're going to have the exact same thing happen.
But how do the Broncos feel about this?
I honestly didn't believe it. I'm going to be so honest because I've heard that TikTok was going to be banned a few times before. So when I heard it this time, I kind of thought the same.
Initially, I was like, okay, that's another social media site that I don't have to worry about being on.
When it did get banned, I was surprised.
So part of it was relief. It was like, oh, now I don't have that option. I can't spend my time mindlessly scrolling.
And then I thought about it for 10 seconds before realizing, wait, this is an egregious overstep of the government's laws, considering this is an impairment on free speech of the United States of America.
I was like dystopic. It was really odd and weird that it was just like taken away like that. I think especially like us as like we grew up with social media, we never thought that it could be just like gone like that.
With students feeling uneasy about the ban, Dr. Cowley gives clarity on the situation.
The best thing I can recommend any current student do is go read the 27-page ruling from the Supreme Court when they upheld this law that effectively banned TikTok. I learned a ton about free speech and how it is so very little a part of this case. It is about national security interests. The Supreme Court specifically said this is not about free speech, even though that's sort of part of the arguments. It's about national security. It's about the fact that a Chinese company has access to a lot of sensitive private information about U.S. citizens through the app.
But even with this information, students feel as if this ban could mean more.
And in both directions, you can make an argument that that's for our safety, and you can make an argument that that's to take away our voice.
Again, I'm indifferent to TikTok, but I think it leads down like a weird slippery slope where like if they ban TikTok, then like what else could they ban?
That they're picking and choosing in general. I think that TikTok is just another way that they've done it.
Unless it's actually doing harm instead of just like speculating, that's not okay.
There's better things to worry about than something like that. Like we should be focusing on like safety in schools and safety, like that.
We are allowed free speech. That is an unequivocal fact.
With all the misinformation easily spread with events like this one, Dr. Cowley gives intel on how students should find accurate information.
The reality is that if you want to have an accurate idea of what's going on, you have to be able to trust certain sources of information. You want to rely on information sources that have transparent policies about how that information is produced, that have policies about how that information is vetted and confirmed. So I would encourage WMU students to not think of this as a First Amendment issue. Read the court ruling. It is not a First Amendment free speech issue. It is much more so about trying to keep the wrong information out of the hands of a country who has proven time and again that they're going to misuse it.
I encourage you to read the information listed in the description to form your own opinion. TikTok is now back on the app stores, and time will tell how it will all play out. In Kalamazoo, I'm Makayla Conger, Western Herald.